Okay. What's up, guys? It's been about nobody's gonna actually listen to this, more than likely. I don't have a photo up or anything. Might be able to do it. I don't know. We'll see. I guess that's what I'll do while I'm talking. But yeah, it's been a while. Um, a lot's happened since everything really just went down. God, it's really been 8 months. That is That's wild to me, really. It is. I can't remember the last conversation that I had. But I dropped out of the S&P. Though it was that or it would just crumble altogether. I wish I'd just let it crumble. I really do now. Cause here's the thing. It's I kept the ideas. And just for some context and clarification for anybody new or who hasn't actually watched any of my shit before, I mean, I only have 5 viewers, and I'm pretty sure all 5 of those either fucking hate me or just decided they were not going to speak to me again. And if it's Mars, then I decided not to speak to you. I'll get to that in a bit. Yeah. Anyway, I had an SMP server. I basically took over after the first arc, or season, rather, where a king, longing for his dead wife, stops at nothing, even so far as to leave hell in a very butchered storyline and try and find her in another dimension. He fails, but he creates a new kingdom in which a bunch of characters show up. And it's led by one of his basically there's a whole lot of bullshit that goes down with one of his soldiers. They find out he's basically a fucking maniac, and they decide, hey, we're gonna go to war, and they start rebelling. Uh, Somewhere within this conflict, my character shows up and basically starts experimenting and making bio and pyro weapons to use, especially bio weapons. Bio weapons are big, especially, oh yeah, magical weapons. I guess would be more accurate for this. We'll say magical weapons. Make it less. Yeah. But in any case, that doesn't really matter for the first season. Besides setting up for the next three, because I wanted to take over. It was pretty good. He had apparently been planning it out for months. uh, I had been taking storyline I had created for another SMP, or had already modified because of another SMP. And SMP means survival Minecraft. I forgot what the P means. It's been a while. It's really been a while. Anyway, everyone starts rebelling, except my character and a couple others. And in the end, because bullshit plot devices, everyone decides they're going to try and kill Trent. Granted, without Trent's knowledge at the same time, I decided to turn all of his subordinates against him, which was highly successful. Every single one of them was on my side, and we threatened him once he, became all powerful god, totally not following Thanos' footsteps, collecting gems and such bullshit. And we were like, "Nah, bro, we're gonna kill you because you." Or I don't even know if we said we were gonna kill him. We were just gonna. It was just decided that he was not fit to rule anymore. And yeah, that wasn't. That didn't actually fucking go very well. Be straight up. So we decided to team up with the remaining rebels. At this point, I think the leader. No, he didn't. He didn't have every gem by that point. That's my bad. He was missing like three, and we basically got a majority of them. And he's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm just gonna kill you all. It fails miserably. I had said I was gonna make him a some dogs because I doing the magical weapons and shit, quote unquote. I did a lot of commanding, coding for the server, and he was like, "No, no, I've got another guy working on it." And that other guy just fucking stopped coming after the first couple of weeks. He stopped giving a shit. He didn't care about any of us. I think he opened up a realm and had like the two people who were fucking around with his plot and his girlfriend's plot. He invited me and him to that. It was me and Ham. And yeah, anyway, he stopped giving a fuck about Trent's server. And Trent ended up making some very shitty wolves on his own. He didn't use mine, I don't think. I think he wanted to spawn them in by eggs, and I didn't have a proper way to do that. In any case, we fucking butchered the dogs, and then we butchered him. He was easier to fight than the dogs. It was like over in 20 seconds, if that, after like 3 totems of undying. But yeah, anyway, he dies. At some point, the leader of the rebellion dies. Just fucking randomly. It shouldn't have even happened. There was no. I don't even think they were up in each other's face at all. He ended up just using a /kill command. He thought, you know, it'd be better that way. What? Or did he? I can't remember. It was really scummy. I'm pretty sure it was a /kill command. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong. I didn't write this part down. But he kills their leader and goes and gets the rest of the stones and becomes God, essentially. And proceeds to create a boss platform in the middle of nowhere that we somehow find with no context. And if there was context, it was never explained to me. It was just like, all right, we're here now. This is right. And I was like, no, it's not. And we go all the way out there. And at this point, my character is like 50% power level. And because he's trying to be all powerful God, he's not allowing anyone to do any damage to him. Because he maxed out his health to the point where it broke the game to where he was immortal. Like, even a god killer wasn't doing. No, it was god killers that he got pissed off about, actually. Speaking of which, my character is a god killer. And he also found weapons called god killers. I think at this point there were only 2. There might have been only 1. I can't remember. But moving on. I think those got removed in the middle of the fight because it was the only weapon. He would have. These weapons were specifically made to kill everything in one shot. They also broke the game. It was literally a situation of an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. And the immovable object won't move, but the unstoppable force will go through it. That's the interesting thing about immortality that I've found. But moving away from that. God, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Moving away from that. Trent goes into the big fight mode. My character, which has literally killed gods before, is not being able to do any damage to him because plot devices, which was fine. I didn't really care until the rebel leader spawned themselves from a dragon egg. Yeah. On a side note, the rebel leader got a dragon egg because Trent just happened to have one. Not sure why, not sure how. Nobody had ever been to the end before. At least not in that dimension. They were not trying to do sequels, so they didn't really fucking care. Oh, I have 3 viewers. Ah. It's one of 2 people from that. It's kind of surprising. Anyway, what's up, guys? In any case. Wow, yeah, this is really making me lose train of thought. All that happens. Trent kills himself because they realize that he wasn't actually being. He wasn't able to be killed. And the first arc ends. And by that point, I had already convinced everybody to do a second arc, which is great, which is fun. Um, Second arc, almost completely beautiful. It was so perfect down to the last event, almost, because everybody was very creative, very inventive, and it was great. It was great. And then two of the most important key characters at this point, the rebel leader and Ham. Again, side note, Ham is the leader of one of the seven hells. At that point, he was the leader of the only hell. And yeah, that expands more in Arc 3. But yeah, he started fucking around and goofing off, and so did the rebel leader. The rebel leader just stopped giving a fuck. And I got pissed. I did. Looking back now, I shouldn't have, but I was completely valid in getting pissed off about it, I think. Hours. Hours. No, it was fucking days spent. Or was it weeks? I can't remember. It was days or weeks spent on that fucking castle alone. And then I did an entire puzzle setup and everything. I created characters and backflot, and nobody cared about one of the side characters. I remembered his name. It was Greg. It was Greg. He had the last name of one of Spider-Man's ex-girlfriends. But anyway, he basically sacrifices himself and brings about Trent. Or brings back Trent. And Aurora comes back. Oh, August is texting me. And Trent basically is like, alright, guys, I'll show you how to beat this fucker. And he shows them how to start all the mazes and shit. And it was great. Up until that last bit. Nothing. It was at that point nothing. I found nothing hurts more than people you care about just stopping giving a shit about, the work and effort you put into it. That was kind of the pretense of my downfall in this server. But it was fine because I had Flame. Flame had my back. So did Mars. So did Jenga. Also, if you're not familiar with any of these people, that's fine because obviously you wouldn't know them. I'll explain them in more detail as it becomes highly more important. I'm kind of just giving a summary. Don't get me wrong, Jenga kicked ass in the first two arcs. And then he had a nanobot arm, which was cool as fuck. I'm surprised he never made it a gun. I would have done that, but it was a character, so I didn't try and tell him. I set limitations on the arm, I think. I don't know if I ever gave many ideas, but I had a lot to do. But moving into Arc 3, Flame had my back, apparently. And then he just fucking died. He did the exact same thing the main sorcerer of Arc 1 did. He fucking disappeared off the face of the planet. I may have talked to him like twice since then. He asked what happened. And then after I got into my own exile, self-imposed exile. That's probably the best answer to that. Yeah. Anyway, Arc 3 happens, floating islands and bullshit. Everybody runs into Trent's portal at the end of Arc 2, trying to survive. If they didn't, they let their characters die off right then. And floating islands bullshit. Flame gets magical power from a Gandalf looking fellow and starts creating an entire world based off his one floating island city from the first couple of arcs. Again, it didn't matter until the third arc. It was there, but it didn't matter. But also Korza goes AWOL completely. My character's like completely out of the picture in arc 3. And he's like the foreboding presence though. But I already knew what I wanted to do for like the next, for that arc and the arc after it. But we move into that. Everybody has a significant amount of plot development, and we kind of come to the realization that a majority of the characters are chaotic evil. And if they weren't chaotic evil, they were neutral evil. I think I'm using that right. Because either they would be like, oh yeah, let's help out this person, and then they would be like, all right, let's slaughter their entire family, i.e., the entire dimension, to do shit. It happened in Arc 2 as well. It didn't make any sense, but it happened. And then people just started trying to do it more so, but much more passively aggressive. Passive aggressively. There we go. It's been a while since I've spoken to people, I guess. And yeah. The third arc slowly comes to a close after a significant amount of plot development. And that's it. Korza just about swallows the entire city. And we go into Arc 4? Arc 4. Or Arc Finale, as I called it. Nobody else liked that. I don't think anybody else used that term. But I created 50 characters. 50. Before I even had to start making new characters to function around new people or people's plot. God, I spent so much time. So much time. And that's when the finale of Arc 2 started to repeat itself. And I didn't pay attention. It was always there. But in Arc 3, we had this new person join. And I fucking adored their character. They were so good at the roleplay and everything. They just melded their character into the story and fucking started leading everybody. And they were like the youngest fucking person besides one other person who gets slaughtered by an Ender Beast, who is also one of my characters. But the only reason that even happened was because the people playing the characters didn't want to be there anymore, which is fine. You know, it happens. Shit like that happens. There was a lot of rewriting that day, but I adored that character, and it was always there that they wanted to be the end villain, and I didn't I didn't pay close enough attention. I didn't watch, and I don't know if the two people from that are still, watching or paying attention. But yeah, if you didn't like me at the end, just go ahead and leave now because you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say, pretty much. Oh yeah, did I mention I did therapy for like multiple servers? I think I only had successful therapy sessions with one person in in Eden Pyre, as we called it. I can't remember who combined the names, but I was like, oh yeah, that shit's awesome. I was just gonna call it Eden because that's literally what a majority of the fucking shit was gonna be about. It was gonna be about Eden. And sorry, it was always there. the good the good guy, literally following exactly what my character did, except my character was more evil from the start. They were more cunning, more manipulative in small SMP. Uh, any fucking hell. I'm going really off track here. There's just been so much shit that's happened since then. I mean, fucking a Technoblade has died since then. That is wild to me. Technoblade is barely older than I am. I could literally go at any second, and that is just a wild thing to me. Sorry, I'm going way off track. Slowly losing my mind. Anyway, this dude loved his character. Everything was great. And they started taking over more of lore. And that was fine. I wanted people to be more interested in lore. That was huge to me. They had to be interested, or it became more like a job. And then it did. Everyone stopped really giving a shit whenever my evil characters came on stage. Specifically Korza, who is the still my poster art because it's fucking awesome poster art. It is. It was fucking great. Yeah, I know that's not the right term for it, but I don't give a shit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they started talking to them, to the other mods who I basically made admins slowly, just nitpicking at certain things like he's letting too much happen. There's too much happening. Not everyone is being able to do what they want to. You can't keep letting new people have huge plot points because they can't, because yada yada yada. And, before Also, if people are in the chat, I am not paying attention to the chat. I'm not going to check that shit. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. I know these things were said because I heard them say it at some point. Just very offhanded comments. And I'm sure it went into deeper detail. And near the end, granted some of my own actions because I was getting aggravated, that nobody gave a shit. It was a complete and total repeat. And at this point, I was paying for the server. I would have spent around $2,000. I have my journal. $1,700.53. Yeah. And that was on the server bill alone. I then went and spent like $500 or so on creatures for them to fight, mods, basically. And I felt super unappreciated because it was a shit ton of work. It was. I was making characters and delving into everyone's lore, and no one cared about mine. There was a point even when I had a quest giver. He was going to give out a god killer to break other god killers. I didn't explicitly state that, but I said there was going to be a reward if somebody actually went through and listened to all of Corsa's audio logs. Because I was curious if anyone actually cared. I think I had 3 people listen to the first audio log. And that was it. So I started getting more aggressive. During many events, I started attacking or starting trouble. Yeah, no, I didn't even directly attack people unless the architect, the mini villain was like threatened or blown off. And yeah, that was when shit hit the fan. I'm more than positive that the admins I had created a group text outside of the server and decided to try and overthrow me, which turned out successful because I gave in. I really gave in. Long story short, I go into this talk, and no one wants to talk. They want to change without any compromise. And why? Because and why do I know this? Because I gave them an option. Let them vote for the 2 of you who have equal power to me. At this point, I'm still paying and doing just about everything outside of their own specific characters. Or many events, too. Yeah. But I was more than willing to give, I think it was power to either 2 or 3 of them. But the catch was, everyone had to vote. Everyone had to vote for which people they wanted to remain on the admin team. Because I went around and I asked, hey, is there a problem with me? To the people outside of the admin team. I got complaints. I didn't get a complaint from these two people, but one of them was like, I'm not sure what you mean. You'll have to get back to me on that. And the other one, at that point, had stopped talking to me because I started courting them, and then I had my own little life crisis, teenage bullshit. Yeah. I think I started dating somebody. Didn't matter. At least not in the end. But yeah, no, they weren't having that. Somebody asked if I was going to be imposed to this role too, and that is yeah, whenever somebody else picks up the bill and actually starts writing out everybody's lore, sure. And the funniest thing is, the same sort of situation happened in Small SMP. But it was I didn't leave because of a life crisis at the time. At the time, I was failing in Small SMP. I was failing in school, and my father was on my ass, and I didn't have a job. I think I had quit Subway. Yeah, it wasn't a fun time. It's also when that chick dumped me. Basic teenage shit. And yeah, no. I put everything on a Google Doc. Then it was that after I took a little break for myself, they had kicked me, and then had somebody else play the villain as me, as my character was going to do instead. Like cut me and my character out of the story completely and just continued on with theirs. Used every idea I made for them. Now, funnily enough, they kicked my secondary account because I told them how I paid close attention to one server in the past, or maybe they just kicked it because they wanted to. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna guesstimate on that. But in any case, my secondary account was kicked from the server immediately. And I found out through somebody else who joined later on. Well, from one of their friends to be more exact. I'm not going to lay names because fuck you guys. They had used the ideas I made for their characters and then literally dissected my character out of the body of the story. Like I was some fucking parasite that didn't even exist with the beginning of it. Like literally copied it. Unless my information is wrong, which I don't think they had any reason to lie to me. It would seem really weird for them to, especially considering they only remembered me from having my name written down on a slip of paper. And then they decided to text me. But yeah, it was the same thing. The exact same thing happened. But lo and behold, the character who I loved, the person whose character I loved, because I loved how they roleplayed and how they mingled and how they did everything with people, They were the last villain. That was exactly what they wanted at the start of Arc 4. And it was the truth of that lined up right there. And I just I just didn't acknowledge it. No. That's not right. I wasn't preparing myself for that. I should have. Because now that's what I've started doing. I stopped giving a fuck, basically, and started just thinking about everything logically. I might be nervous for like the first bit of this, but yeah, no. That shit will never happen to me again. 3 times. That's the last straw. 3 servers that I've either A, built from the ground up, or fucking carried on much longer than the expected period. And all those friends, those therapy sessions, all the shit that I had poured my soul into. I still have 4 fucking journals full of information on them and their characters. And yeah, I lied. I lied to Crow. I'd have information written out by you guys so I don't forget shit. And yeah, I could easily use it to manipulate people, but I didn't. I just want to make that aware to you guys because I've made that aware to myself. I'm fine. I wasn't then. I thought I was a horrible piece of shit and a horrible friend. But in the end, I left because I wanted to let you guys continue with your characters. I cared. I wanted things that I would watch you basically birth. You know, it was like being the fucking doctor that gets a woman through childbirth and then seeing that kid grow up with their parent. Because everyone changed at some point drastically. Everything changes. But I think it took me about like probably like an hour before I was like, you know what? No, they're not going to continue using the server I paid for. I'm just going to get my refund back for the month, which was $23 by that point. And yeah, I don't think that stopped them at all. Emmy had he was basically my tech guy. He had full access to the server. I noticed a backup that was made before we went into that conversation. He they fucking prepared for it. And it wasn't an auto backup, it was a manual. It was a manual backup and download. You can definitely see the difference in the log. But yeah, I left. Mars reached out to me. And they said they were sorry. Sorry that they didn't stand up for me. And really say or do much of anything. Which I get it, you know. Just a bunch of fucking kids. Didn't really know what responsibility was at that time. But you make yourself feel responsible. But a couple months went by. I didn't hear from him. So I just went through and unfriended people. I wanted to start trying to write a book with some of the people who I didn't have any issues with. But, yeah, you know, no responses. Nobody. I was not a concern to anyone. Or at least not visibly. So I followed suit. I cut them out of my lives. I don't think it's helped any. It really hasn't. Still sometimes wonder if that one guy is going to commit suicide. Even though they fucking apparently hated me by that point. Still cared. Didn't want to flip on the news and see that kid in Florida, a kid in Tennessee, a kid in Alabama, a kid in Texas commit suicide. Sometimes wonder if you guys got out of your shit. You know, like, did Trent ever get to that movie? How did his project go that he got fucked over on the equipment for? I think it was like a microphone or something they didn't get and everybody else got. Did you get that job at Chick-fil-A? Is band still any good? Did you graduate? I can't remember. Anyway, I'm gonna get off the sort of depressing shit and go ahead and go on with what else has happened the past 8 months since I've streamed last. Got an Oculus. Got on VR chat. Played a lot. Still play a lot. Fixing up a PS4 now. I'm gonna have to fix one of my controllers on the Oculus because I fucking hit my ceiling fan with it. Yeah, because I'm super fucking intelligent. Fucking retarded. But, PS4 runs, so that's nice. Still work at Chick-fil-A. No changes there. Had sex 2 days after Technoblade died. Because I was afraid I was gonna die before having sex. God, what a fucking horrid reason. It's horrible. It's a horrible reason. But, you know, she was satisfied 3 condoms later. Only 2 getting properly used because fucked up the first one. Strange. Oh, yeah, I'm putting together a costume for Corzo. I have everything but contacts. Though, unfortunately, my hair is falling out. I'm literally dying. My hair falls out like a cancer patient. But met August. Met a Scottish chick. They kind of stopped caring after like a week, which, you know, it's not really too surprising. Still talk to August a lot, though, so that's nice. It's odd looking back. But an actual sword. My younger sibling told my father he fucking hated him. Not in those exact words, but this actually happened last week. Dad was so distraught. It was a fucking camping trip. Just destroyed it. My sibling was hiding something in his bag. It was probably pot or alcohol or a vape. All 3 of which he's been caught doing before. But he was carrying a bag around that had his clothes and whatever the item was inside of it. So, and he was like obsessive over it. Like Smeagol in The Ring. Where's my bag? I need something. I need it. I need it. I need it. I need it. The fact they didn't say my precious is astounding. But he ran in front of my dad after he told him to stay with him. And he was searching through his bag. The only reason Dad saw it was because he ran up there to figure out what the fuck it was. And, understandably, my sibling is also a minor. My dad took his bag and he threw everything out on the ground so he could figure out what the fuck it was. And, Tristan, my sibling is Tristan. Tristan gets up and says, "What the fuck are you doing with my shit?" And knee-jerk reaction, my dad slaps him. He's done that maybe twice. Like, ever. He's literally laid his hands on us twice, and that is one of the moments. And, he immediately cooled off. He put all this shit in the bag. I think he shouldn't have. I think he should have figured out what the fuck it was. But, they had a heart to heart. And Tristan basically told him, "You're not really a dad to me," which is horrible to say. The house I'm currently living in, he bought because it had enough room for all of us. You know, found out his fiance was cheating on him in the past 8 months, too. I think. I might be wrong on that. I can't remember. Fucking. Yeah, that was horrible on him. He wanted to move. He wanted to get out of here so badly. I can't blame him. Then the dude my dad's fiance was cheating on him with died in a car accident about 2 months ago. Nah. Dad never got to figure out whether or not he knew that she was cheating. You think it'd be a hard thing to hide, but it's really not. I mean, she hid it for months. He only caught her because her fucking notification went off on her tablet. Holy shit, I have 5 viewers. When the fuck did that happen? Wait a minute. I don't even know who everybody is. Christ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a second, that's... I count 7. Wait a minute. Am I tripping? Oh well. Doesn't matter. It's not why I got on with viewers, but it's kind of... It's interesting. What else has happened? I got hit doing the delivery. That was fun. Delivery shut down like a week after that. She fucking was fully liable. They didn't even press any charges on her. I was like, come on, guys. I could have died. I mean, I could have. Had she hit the gas a little bit faster, it would have been bad. Would have clipped me, and I would have came out into off-coming traffic off the highway. But, yeah, she was a hit and run, actually. She got out of her car, yelled at me for a second, then got back in her car and drove away. Oh, yeah, fucking right there. My mom is finally getting married. Yeah, put it out a year in advance. Like, it's fucking, it's next year, and I found out, like, it's probably, like, 6 months ago. No, 5 months ago. That's my bad. Time is really not fun anymore. It's really not. Oh wait, now I get the viewer count. The viewer count is okay. So it's everyone who's been in the thing. That makes sense. Yeah, obviously I haven't done this in a bit. It's almost been an hour. That's crazy. Bought a sword, bought shit, had sex. Brother hates my dad. Mother's finally getting fucking married. All right. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to talk about or discuss. It's all I've got. I'm not like other streamers where you just fucking sit here and watch me pumpkin carve or bounce my massive badonkers in the fucking bathtub. I just talk when I have no one to talk to. Don't get me wrong. I also only talk whenever it feels like I'm losing it more than usual. But I'm gonna get off that pity shit, because that's not fun. I mean, how is it? How would it ever be fun? Why would it ever be fun? It's an interesting topic, because today's youth, and even me, especially me sometimes, we just feed off of it. We feed off the negative energy like fucking parasites. I say youth and I'm 19. I'm 19 now. I know people who are married, or I knew people who are now married, who have their own kids, moved completely across the country. It's a wild thing growing up. You just you can't do anything else but look back, especially since 2020. You just go, oh God, if I could go back. I remember in 2012 when the world was going to end. Then 2020 happened. Everybody's emotions just died. They all died. Everybody stopped giving a fuck. They did. It's so simple. Which is why I fell into roleplay. I fell in love with it. I had all these stories, and then I realized other people wanted to fucking do it. And you forget at some point they don't. At some point it's just you living out a dream. It's the truth of it. Oh, fuck me, there's a large brown ass cricket in. Or is that a spider? I'm not sure. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's in my room and it's coming towards me. Alright, well, I'm gonna go kill this thing. You might hear me drop a fucking weight on it. But, this should be fun. Hey there, buddy. Don't do any weird shit, and I won't do any weird shit back. Let me just grab a shoe. Yep, you're a fucking cricket. I hit you, I don't know where the fuck you went. Fuck. This is great. This is exactly how I wanted my night to go. Oh, this shit is fucking annoying. Where are you, bitch? So, for a little bit of context, I hit it with my shoe while it was in full motion, and it proceeded to then fly out of my sight next to the bookshelf. There's a little bit of juice on it from where I hit it. And now I don't know where the fuck it is. So, yeah, short intermission, I suppose. Where in the fuck did it go? How the fuck did you get in here, actually? That's a better question. You came from this side of the room. I'm going to find you, and when I do, it shall be your end. Oh, is that you? My room isn't gross, but god damn it if this doesn't make me feel like it is. But then again, I live in a basement, so here we are. Make your own choices in life. Okay, I think I found it. So I think I'm good. Yeah, that was fun. You know, at least this time it wasn't a dead snake. I found that in my room one time. I found it in my bed, actually. I used to. I might still have the picture. But, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's all I've got. Um, Fuck it. I suppose since there were more than people in here at some point than the amount of followers I have, I'll take 2 questions. So let me figure out how to fucking open up chat. Okay, I think, yeah, that's it. There we go. Yeah, if anybody wants to ask a question, go right on ahead. because otherwise I'll just shut it down in the next 4 minutes. Yeah, that's what I talked about. I unfriended everybody from before VR chat because I was trying to disconnect myself from your lives as none of you talked to me. It didn't help, but yeah, that's what happened. I didn't block you. I just unfriended. Any other questions? Yeah, maybe. I wish it would show you who the fuck was viewing it. Anyway, one more question. Otherwise, I'm getting off. All right. Well, since there's not another question, I'll just leave it at that. Have a good one. Even if you fucking despise me. Yeah. Peace.